Hey students, welcome to week 3. Hope you're having fun in this course so far. A couple things about this week. Your discussion 2 is graded. Make sure you're looking at those rubrics. Please look at the rubrics. There's 3 sections that you're graded on: your original post, your reply post, and using sources. And you will earn points in each of those categories if you do everything correctly. So if you have a score that's less than 10, look at the rubric. You need to find out why it's less than 10 and what you need to improve for next week. A lot of you who got that less than 10 are failing to use the APA format. This is week 3, so we should be getting used to that by now. A lot of you have probably used it in the past. I'm very stringent on it because this is a science course and we need to give the credit to those who deserve it, and that's how science works. Suggestions for your discussion posts. Just from personal experience, I would suggest that you save your work in a Word document because it's much easier to save that as you're typing it than it is to write in the text box. And I've done this too, or I'm guilty of writing into the text box. I get halfway through and I get distracted by a project, or I walk away from the computer, or it just takes a long time and I get logged out of Blackboard. My work's completely gone. Very frustrating. I don't want the same thing to happen to you. So save your discussions in a Word document just so you have an extra backup. You won't have to lose your work if anything does happen like that. And then if you want to take your work and copy and paste it into a text box, a lot of you know this already, but you have to use the keyboard shortcuts in order to copy and paste. You can't right-click in the box. You have to use Control-C, Control-V. I don't know why that is in Blackboard. It's just the way the software works. So that's important to remember. Make sure you're not uploading attachments. Attachments don't count in a discussion forum. No one opens attachments. They are basically useless. So make sure you're typing into the text box. If you did not do that this week and you want me to regrade your work, I want you to resubmit it as a discussion and then email me that you did that. Make sure that you email me. I'm not going to go back and regrade everything unless you notify me that you put your work into a text box. All right, then again, if you're still having trouble with APA guide or APA format, use the guide. There's an awesome guide right here, the Library and Learning Services Guide. Go to it, use it. The references right here on this text or in this tab are amazing. Just click through it. It'll tell you everything you need to know. It's the best guide we have around. Okay, case studies. Module 2, those were due last night, and I'm hoping to get those done as soon as possible. I will start grading as soon as I'm done recording this video, and I always grade in order of submission. So for those of you who turned it in over a week ago, you'll be getting your grades very, very soon. For those of you who waited until the last night to get it done, it'll take me a while, right? I have probably close to 100 of these case studies to read through, to grade, to comment on, and I just really want to make sure that I do a good job at that, so it takes me a while to get through them. So be patient with me, and Friday is the absolute latest that you'll get your grades back. So even if you did wait until last night, you'll have your grade by Friday. You'll still have time to review that, look at what you need to improve on before you're turning in your next case study. Your next case study will be due in Module 4, and it's introduced this week. So not due this week, it's just introduced this week. There's one maybe kind of confusing part to this. It's part 3, number 2. When you get to this answer, I want you to list your answers and don't try to fill in the boxes. Let me show you what that looks like. So here's number 2. I'll scroll up here. Number 2, this chart is showing what happens to your arterial blood pressure when there's some changes. So I want you to think of this kind of like a map. It starts at the top. When you have a drop in arterial blood pressure, so that means when your arterial blood pressure in yourself goes down, what happens? Well, the first thing that happens is your sympathetic nervous system is activated. And our nervous system is then going to control what happens in our bodies, and specifically what happens in the heart, what happens in the arteries, and what happens in the veins. So you're going to fill in these boxes. You're going to fill in these spaces here with the word increase or decrease. So when your blood pressure drops, does your nervous system tell your heart to increase or decrease your heart rate? Does it tell you to increase or decrease your force of contraction? Does that nervous system tell your arteries to increase or decrease the diameter in the artery? Now you'll notice if I try to click on this, I can't fill in the boxes. So I don't want you to try to fill them in right there. What I would like you to do is just type right underneath number 1. Whoops, sorry, I went too far. Oh my goodness, can't find my cursor. Let's just put it above. That works too. So my answers would be number 1, increase, number 2, decrease, and I don't know if these are right. I'm just putting some words in here, so don't follow this. But I want you to list out your changes, increase or decrease, and just number your responses because you can't fill in the boxes. This is a graphic. You can't actually type into those boxes. So do that, and that will help me to grade this quickly so I can get it back to you. I will say that this is one of the tougher parts of the whole case study. So spend some time on this. Make sure that you really understand what's happening, because if you don't, and you don't take the step-by-step approach to this, it can become really confusing. So let me know if you have trouble with this, but I think if you slow down, take your time, really study what's happening, it should make sense over time. Just give yourself a chance to, give your brain a chance to catch up to the work. Okay, one note on what's called Course Hero. A lot of you have probably run into this online. Course Hero is a site that it kind of tells you that it's a tutoring site, like it helps you, right? But it's actually a really terrible source of information. Course Hero is a company that uploads and downloads sources that are basically from student to student. So students get paid to upload their assignments, other students can pay to receive those assignments. Sure sounds like cheating, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. So don't use it. And I will say that just because 1, it is cheating, and 2, there are lots of incorrect answers out there. And I noticed that more often than not in this specific case study. So if you find that you are Google searches or whatever it is bringing you to Course Hero, don't go there. It's not a great source. And if you do copy and paste anything from that website, it is copying. It's cheating. It's plagiarism. So it will be reported if I do come across anything like that. So there's your fair warning. Don't use it. Not a good source. All right, then lastly, quizzes. There are no retakes. I mentioned that before, but here's the one but. If you have technical errors, right, so if you pull up the screen and none of the questions show, or I don't know, something else similar to that happens, here's the steps to take. You call Personal Support Center. That number is always at the bottom of the page on any of your Blackboard screens. Make sure you ask them for a case number. If they can't resolve the problem or if they can't help you get any answer, make sure you have that case number with you and email it to me with all the details here. So don't just say, I need to retake the quiz. I'm going to say no. But if you give me the details of why you think you're eligible to retake that quiz or why you deserve a second chance, then I can log back in, I can look at your submission, and if the story that you're saying matches what I'm seeing, there might be a chance for me to reset that quiz. But again, it's only for technical errors. It's not because you did a poor job or that you didn't study enough. It's only if something goes wrong with the actual software or your computer. All right, then, oh, sorry, skipped ahead a little bit too far. If you want to improve your scores, you're not doing so well, or you'd like just to do better, my #1 suggestion is to try a peer tutor. There are awesome tutors out there who have been through this class, they know how it works, they know what type of questions are asked, and they are a great source to help you study. I've had students in the past who set up a weekly appointment with a tutor, maybe it's just 30 minutes or something like that, and they meet with them, they go over some quiz review, and their scores improve immensely. So that's always my #1 suggestion. If that's outside of your schedule or you can't make that work, my other suggestion is always to focus on the PowerPoint slides. The textbook is very overwhelming, so Stay away from that. That should not be your first source of information. I want you to stick with the PowerPoint slides first, and then, if anything in there is confusing, then consult your textbook, then look at a second source, or of course you can always contact me. So I hope that helps, and if you have any other questions throughout the week, I am more than happy to help guide you through any problems you have. So just let me know if anything comes up, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.